Hello, Abraham. When you were talking about the relationship this morning, I had a memory of having a relationship that was a wonderful new level of allowing for me. And it changed and it ended. And so I thought I would focus on the positive parts of it, like you said, the essence. And there was dancing involved. So I was going around singing. I could have danced all night and just completely recreated this wonderful thing. And then somehow the person that I'd broken up with was on the phone with me, offering to invite me to sit at the table with he and his new girlfriend at a dance. And I had this, I had this desire to just spit the whole thing out of my mouth. I was just like, bleh, I don't want that, and so I'm thinking, okay, now, what did I miss? And I heard it this morning. I heard part of it about I didn't address that I wanted a different outcome.
Sometimes when you try too hard, you get those kind of mixed results. In other words, you took something that really felt one way, and you almost forced it to feel another way, and you got some of both of it in your vibration. One day, we were encouraging a lovely woman to try to find things that she appreciated about her ex-mate, because we were trying to help her to understand that if she could get into a softer vibration around the subject of relationship, then the relationship that she wanted could come into her experience faster. But it alarmed her, and she said, "Oh no, Abraham, I don't want to bring him back into my experience." And she was afraid that if she thought nice thoughts about him, then the universe would bring him back.
Right, yeah.
And what we wanted her and you to understand is that when you think nice thoughts or thoughts that feel nice to you, and by that we mean feel good to you, thoughts that are nice to you as you think them. When you think thoughts that feel good to you when you think them, all it means is you've put yourself in the vibrational place of allowing the things you've been telling the universe you want. So if you no longer want that relationship, it's not going to come to you when you are in that place of feeling good.
Okay.
The universe is always yielding to you what is a vibrational match to where you are. There was another factor involved, and that is you have been demanding, and we don't mean that demanding is inappropriate. You have been really wanting evidence of your vibration because you made a decision. You may not remember it, but you will when we speak it. You want to know the correlation between what you're thinking and feeling and what's manifesting. In other words, you've been hearing us talking about how there are two ways of knowing what your vibrational countenance is. You can pay attention to the way you feel, which is pre-manifestation, or you can evaluate what's coming to you, which is post-manifestation. But in either case, there is information being provided to you at all times to let you know what kind of a vibration you're offering. And at any stage along the way, whether it's when you receive a negative feeling or when you receive a manifestation that you don't want, at any stage along the way, you can stop, laugh, say, well, it's clear that I'm attracting something differently than my pure idea of what I'm wanting. Now, what can I do to make this thought feel even better still? Do you want to be friends with this person, or do you want to be enemies with this person? In other words, what was so abhorrent about going to a dance with this person? What was the exact invitation?
There was someone else involved.
Tell us the whole story.
A mutual friend who was sort of like an orphan that had been a third party in our relationship that we took along with us to the dances that we went to. And so I had made arrangements to take this person along. And I found that I wasn't going to be able to go that day. And I was trying to call him and tell him that I wouldn't be able to go that night because of my work schedule. And I was too tired to go. So lo and behold, within, half an hour of trying to make this phone call, I get the phone call from the man I used to date, inviting me to go along and, go and do this. And I just felt it was very disrespectful of my boundaries. Maybe because I had put so much into dancing joyful.
You have spoken the word that is the vibration that's sort of stuck in the craw, and that's that word disrespect.
Okay.
And what we want you to hear is that no one has the power to disrespect you. And no one has the motive to disrespect you, really. In other words, no one can offer a vibration that can be not beneficial to you but you. We want you to begin saying, no one can hurt my feelings because my feelings are not hurtable by others.
Okay.
I'm the only one that can hurt my feelings by choosing a thought that is hurtful, because no one can get inside my head and make me think. No one can think my thoughts but me. Now, it's true, I might have some habits of thought that are hurtful, but I can choose to let this be hurtful, I can choose to see this as disrespectful, or I can choose to see it in another way. But until you sort of get that one worked around, then you're going to be in the same category that so many people are, where you need all kinds of conditions to change so that you can feel better. And if you think that you're going to change the personality of an ex-boyfriend,
No, I don't want to.
but that really is sort of what you were asking for. In other words, he needs to see me and everything differently, and he needs to respond differently to me in order for me to feel completely good. And we say, oh boy, is that a lot of work. And then multiply him by the other 5 or 6 billion people on the planet, and now you've got something really impossible to deal with, where when you say, hey, I can feel any way I choose to feel, and I'll work on you later. In other words, we would, if we were standing in any of your physical shoes, if there was anyone in our past that had ever hurt our feelings, we would work them over in our mind, emotional journey at a time, until we had shown ourselves that we can focus upon them at the same time that we feel good. What an empowering thing that would be, to show yourself that nobody has the power to hurt your feelings.
Good.
And when you show yourself that, you will be empowered, because the only thing that ever causes anything to happen to anyone is the way they feel.
Okay.
So if you're running around feeling vulnerable about feelings, then you are running around feeling vulnerable about life experience, you see. And that's why you want to put those rascals in your past and call them your ex. You are my ex-one. You're over there in the evil pile with people that I no longer want to have anything to do with. And we want all of those past people to still be in that pile of appreciation and grateful.
Right.
You were there when I needed you. You were a vibrational match to that which I was. You were part of the contrast that helped me to identify what I want. My present and future experience is what it was because of my relationship with you. Okay. It was never your job to be a specific way so that I could feel better. Right. We all were doing the best that we knew how to do as we went along the way. I love the fact that we had this relationship, and I believe that we will always have a relationship. And from now on, I'm not going to let my thoughts of you hurt my feelings anymore. I'm no longer going to disrespect myself by twisting my thoughts about you and making myself feel bad about them.
Okay.
That's powerful.
Thank you. I couldn't understand why I had such a visceral, I just repeatedly, I was just like...
It didn't have anything to do with him. It has to do with you giving him your power.
Gotcha.
It has to do with you believing that he has to be different so that you can feel good, which is impossible. And when you discover that nobody has to be different and you can still feel good, then you go to the dances with your ex. You love them anyway. In other words, they're a non-issue, you see. Just like everybody has always been a non-issue in your joy. You just don't know that, you see.
No, I don't. I don't. But I will.
Oh, it's really nice when someone is so lovable that just knowing them makes you feel love.
Right.
And then you resent everybody that's not like that.
Yeah.
And we say, the only way you can gain control is just to announce to the world, but you got to practice it. I am one who loves no matter what. I've trained myself into loving no matter what. And if there are really abhorrent things, I just don't focus on them. And if there are things that in my past that still make me feel bad, that I can't stop thinking about, then I've trained myself into a new way of thinking about it. That's the emotional journey.
Okay.
And eventually, everything you've ever lived and everyone you've ever spent any time with will be this precious part of your physical experience that you will feel only gratitude and appreciation for. And then the universe opens up for you and just floods you with wonderful things, wonderful people, wonderful experiences, wonderful memories, wonderful future, and you just spend your life, your day just lapping it up, lapping it up, lapping it up. And you're just saying, oh, more good stuff, more good stuff, more good stuff, more good stuff, more good stuff. And in time, you don't even panic about not being able to take in all the good stuff. You just say, a steady stream of good stuff. I can take as much as I can stand. And the rest can just float on by because it's a never-ending stream of good stuff.
Yeah.
I'll pace myself in this good stuff.
That's the answer to the other question I didn't say out loud. Thank you. Because it gets to be so many options. I'm thinking, how will I decide which is my highest good?
What? Oh, my highest. Oh, my very highest. My highest. What is the bestest of it all?
What's the most fun?
Well, again, we say, what difference does it make? Something that's beyond your ability to see it and embrace it can't come into your experience. So if it's there, it's the perfect match. So lap it up and then expect it to just keep getting better and better and better and better and better.
It has been. It has been.
Very good.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
So much of your message is about following your bliss, seeking joy, things like that. We bring you some pretty heavy stuff. But yeah, what you do, I assume you find great joy in it. What's in it for you, all the things that we do?
There are a number of things we want to say in response to this powerful question. You ask about 10 things all at once right there. The most significant thing that we want to say to you is that as you are following your bliss and realigning with that which is us, then you allow yourself the experience of feeling all of you focused here. Now, whether you allow your connection and alignment to that which is us or not, we still are having the exposure to your experience. So every experience you have is joyful for us, whether you are allowing yourself in on the joy or not. When you come back into alignment and allow yourself the joy, then that is just added deliciousness for us. So what's in it for us? Now, never forget, you are on the leading edge of thought, and expansion is what we are all about. So as you allow yourself this exposure to this new contrast, which causes you to give birth to the new idea, that is a birth for us too, you see. In other words, we haven't got it all figured out, and we're waiting for you to catch up. You are on the leading edge. You are the one that is taking us into the new environment. We just bring along with you the knowledge that all really is well, but you are the pioneer reaching into the new place, you see. So it is as adventurous and as dynamic and as dramatic and as satisfying for us as you reach there as it is for you. The difference is, we never worry because we know as it is manifesting for you how it's going to turn out. In other words, we have the advantage of broader view, and we have the knowledge that all is well no matter how it appears in any temporary moment of your focus, you see. So there is plenty in it for us because you cannot have exposure to anything without it being for us. We really are all in this together. Another very powerful reason that we do not worry about you even when you are in the place of despair is because we are able, as you explore the contrast and you give birth to the rocket of desire, we turn our undivided attention toward your desire and we align with it fully. And all of the resources of the universe go toward prepaving your future event for you. So we experience the delicious benefit of traveling to where you want to be as a result of your launching the rocket. And we always get there before you do. That's how we're able to guide you to it. That's why when you follow your bliss, you are always on your path to that which you have launched.
That's great.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
There's great love here for you.
That is clear to us.